Hello. So this has kind of been a long time coming. I've been wanting to give you all this update and announce this for quite some time. Life has just really gotten busy. But earlier on in the semester, I read the book Redeeming Love. If you haven't read it, it's amazing. I would highly suggest it. And throughout the book, it's a fictional story of the story of Hosea in the Bible. Um, and it just paints a beautiful picture of how Christ loves us no matter what, even when we're running in the opposite direction, um, and even when it's really hard and when we constantly turn away from Him, He still pursues us and still loves us. So this was a really big comfort for me, and just like a reminder that sometimes you can go really far, but the Lord is always going to be there to comfort you and protect you and love you. So throughout the book, Michael is this guy. I'm not going to ruin the book for anyone, but Michael is the guy who the Lord calls to marry a prostitute. And obviously throughout the book, it's basically their journey, and it's very hard for Michael, just because she's very, very hard to love. She has a very hard heart, just because of her experiences in her past. And so every time that it gets really hard and Michael questions God and say, why me? And I'm not fit for this. I don't think I can love this woman. God always calls him beloved. He always says, Michael, beloved. And the first time that happened in the book, it really touched me. And the Lord continuously calls him that throughout the book. And he eventually starts calling the woman that as well. And that word somehow just really stuck with me, and really made me feel worthy and good enough and important for the first time in a really long time. And I've always struggled, as a woman, I've always struggled with worth and identity and being good enough. And I think one of my biggest things with that, is I have always struggled with never feeling good enough. And this word somehow just really completely shatters all of that. All of those doubts, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy, that I'm not loved. This word beloved has just really spoke to me in so many ways. And that's part one of the story. So leading into from that, I just graduated, little life update, and I knew I'd be coming back to Edmond, just living with my parents. I'm in their house right now. And I was kind of nervous because I didn't really have any plans for the time being. The Lord kind of really threw a curveball at me and showed me that I was not in control anymore, which is awesome. So I just was really praying that the Lord would give me things to do, and luckily He's blessed me with a job, and there's great people here, and so I'm very thankful for that. But one thing He quickly placed on my heart was to start a women's Bible study. And throughout college, I was able to have amazing community kind of handed to me and be right there in front of me, through a Bible study called Yada. Sometimes Luke 6:22 was an awesome women's Bible study. I know that was in Stillwater. There were just a lot of different ministry opportunities there, and I just really had a heavy heart to bring something like that to Edmond. This is where I grew up, and I have a special place in my heart for Edmond and women. So the heartbeat behind all of this is just that, to take this word beloved, and I feel just so called to love women who do not feel good enough. They don't feel worthy. They are constantly feeling like they're having to try so hard to fit this standard, or to be this person that someone else wants them to be, but that's not them. I want them to know that God calls us beloved, And I want that word to just be such a, like, I want that word to be the heartbeat of this Bible study. So I did name it Beloved. And I wanted you guys to know the backstory behind that, because that word has really, really changed a lot of things for me this semester. It's completely shattered my self-doubt and how I view myself and how I know that the Lord views me. And so our like core verse that I decided to have for this Bible study is Colossians 3:12. And it says, "Put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, meekness, humility, and patience." And even like 13, that says, "Bearing with one another. If one has the complaint against the other, forgiving one another as the Lord has forgiven us, we must also forgive." And I just really want that to be the heartbeat of this Bible study too, and to talk about these qualities and what it looks like to possess these qualities and to live them out as women of God. And I know this Bible verse is actually used a lot in weddings, which I think is awesome, because these are such important characteristics to have if you are a follower of Christ. And God just tells us why we should. And but yeah, I want this Bible study to just be a place where women can come and feel loved and welcomed. If you're seeking community as a college-age girl who doesn't really know what it looks like to have your faith be your own, that was me a couple years ago. This is a place for you. It's not going to be a place of comfortability. It's going to be a place of vulnerability and accountability and fellowship, and just we're going to have a fun time. And it's kind of open to anyone. I really have a heart for women who are in college or recently out of college, young adult age, just because I feel like, personally, I just feel like my college years and even still now is like such a big growth period in a woman's life. You're finally on your own, you can make your own decisions, and so it's like, okay, who am I going to be on my own? So yeah, I am really, really excited for this. I have really had it on my heart for a long time. I just haven't really had the time to like announce it necessarily. The Lord has been in all of this. I've been so prayerful about it just because it really scares me. I know when I knew I was coming back to Edmond, I was like, well, I want community. I want that good, strong women community. And I was like, Lord, where am I going to find it? I have a community group at church that I attend. It's just amazing, but it's co-ed, so it's not just women. And the Lord just continuously told me, why don't you just start it? So this is me starting it. Sorry this video was really long, but yeah, that is just the heartbeat behind it. And I will be announcing too when it's starting. It's going to start in June. And seriously, anyone is welcome. It'll be here at my home. It'll just be women who love the Lord or who are wanting to know more about the Lord. And I hope that every single one of you, no matter what, if you come, if you don't come, that you know you are beloved and that you are worthy and you are good enough. So that is all that I have. Thanks for following along, and yay!